Hey, today's Friday, August 11th. Let's say it's 11:54 p.m. Um, I'm doing this new part of my journal. I didn't get a chance to do it earlier. This is a delayed entry on June the 20. I'm sorry, on July the 25th. I had to say goodbye to Misha. Every day's a struggle. I had to sit by with both my girls and watch them die in my arms. And I do not take any enjoyment in doing that. But as I think about it now, and I had the time to reflect, here's a thought. Perhaps, just perhaps, you should start, Dr. Spender, a policy where new patients and clients are asked a very, very important question. What type of relationship do you have with this pet that you're bringing in? Is it just a family pet? Is it a service animal? Or is it an emotional support companion? Because I think treatments would change, and probably for the better, because you don't realize what my girls meant to me. They weren't pets. No, I needed them. I needed them to calm me. They were my companions. They were my emotional support companions. And you need to stop what you're doing, because this is how you're going to treat your patients and your clients. What you did is dirty, man. You turned your back on a dying, terminally ill patient. So why don't you start a new policy, Dr. Spender? From now on, any new client that walks into your establishment gets asked the most important question of all. Do you depend on this pet for mental health, physical health? Because that's right now, in this day and age, that seems to be the hot mic, the hot topic right now. And I can vouch for that. I know what I go through on a daily basis. And when my girls were with me, they're the ones that kept me in check. I depended to wake up every morning to see them, to talk to them, to keep my sanity, to keep me from thinking things I shouldn't be thinking of. They were more than just pets. And as I said, they're not pets to me. They're my family. They're my children. It's important that everyone understand that animals play a big role in our life, whether you realize it or not. From those little quirky things, if you're a dog owner, dog lover, those little facial expressions that they do sometimes, it's just enough to take your mind off of the seriousness of your day or the drudge of your day, and to put a smile on your face. That's the most important thing. And that's what people, I'm speaking for myself, and everything that I'm saying, and I've said on previous videos, those are my opinions, and my opinions solely. Though some of my opinions match a lot of your negative Google reviews, which also I need to make a retraction. In one of my journals, I had stated that you don't respond to the negative reviews. I have to apologize. You have. So I'll give you credit for this one, but this won't be to your advantage. the username on this Google review, I think it's maybe a few years back, 4 years back, he goes by the username Oink Oink. And I posted in there, so you can read that. Your words exactly. Your staff is instructed to drop everything they're doing to attend to a dead or even dying dog. But you didn't do that with Misha. See, you gotta be careful, because what you post in the past may show up in the future to bite you in the ass. Yeah. It's important that you develop a better relationship with pets that are especially needed for people who have emotional problems. I can't even walk out the door. I spend my days in a dark room looking at this bed, knowing that I'll never see them every morning. Not that you could have done anything about it. Yeah, they were terminally ill. They were going to die. But it was the neglect of addressing the videos, addressing, maybe it would have been time sooner than later to say goodbye to Hippie, and those kicking, bucking motions of Misha was more than what you told me it was. Those buckings were due to her kidneys. That's what I find out. So she suffered from that point on. Actually, Misha suffered 5 days. Yeah, Misha suffered 5 days. No, I take that back, because she was starting to do that prior. That Friday just before I sent those videos. Yeah, now I remember. I didn't think of sending him in Saturday, because it didn't dawn on me, slipped my mind that you were open on Saturday. Had I would have sent him. One of them anyway. I think one of them was earlier. 2 of them were earlier than that date. But the ones most importantly was the severity of the kicks on Monday, because there were that day it was far worse than what it was days prior. I've been reading this article on Roy. I don't know if I can pronounce his last name right. Roy Osthoff. Now, he's the Navy veteran who had his dog suffer because of an unscrupulous lawmaker not giving him his money to save his dog's life. And my mind doesn't think right now. But I want to say in the article that I read that this Navy veteran depended on that dog because he suffered from depression. And if I'm not mistaken, I think at one point he was homeless. If I'm not mistaken, if I am, then I apologize. But for some reason that comes to mind. That dog, Sapphire, was important to this guy. So I can relate to him trusting people, because I put my trust in you, Dr. Spender, and your staff. Your hospital. It's not even a hospital. You're more of a clinic center that specializes in everything, but you're not a hospital. You need to treat your patients maybe a little better when you know and you understand that your client depends on that animal. I can only imagine what this Mr. Osthoff went through, watching his his pet, his companion, die. And I hope it wasn't having to watch his pet die in the manner that I had to watch Hippie die. Watch them suffer. Both of them. Because no one prepares you when you say goodbye to your pet. And you're in that room when they're administering those shots. No one prepares you for that. And for what I had to witness the day you had 2 students administer a catheter that should have been a moment as a final course of living, to send them off in a humane manner. I brought her to go to sleep peacefully. She suffered more trying to get a catheter into her leg. And then I had to watch it. More needs to be done. More needs to be done. People need to be aware that in this day and age, when mental health is such a crucial, hot topic, more attention needs to be given. And if you suffer from mental illness like me, do the right thing. You don't want to be struggling with those demons, just like I am right now. You don't know what's going on, Dr. Spinder. You don't know what's going on up here right now. All I see every day is the moments I look into my girl's eyes. Because, you know, that was the most beautiful thing about them. See, when you can't communicate with a pet, especially a dog, because as we all know, dogs don't speak. But if you spend as much time as I did with my girls, day in and day out, from the time I get up in the morning till the time I say goodnight to them, I communicate with them by looking into their eyes. You see, a dog's eyes are the portal to their soul. And I would go every morning to once look into their eyes to see how beautiful a soul they had. And that's what brought me joy. But all these years that I had to deal with waiting for test results, a few of them were really important. They should have been addressed and given to me right away on the days that they were promised. No, I have to wait 4 days, 5 days. Sometimes I think the longest was like a little more than maybe 6 days or more. Maybe you should be concerned about asking Cheryl why she deleted the videos. I'm sure you didn't even ask her about that. Because you know why you didn't? Because you don't care. Did you ask questions on who canceled that emergency that June 16th when I brought Misha in? Because according to Melina, all those doctors, especially Dr. Collada, they're a primary doctor of all people, right? Turned their back on her. And then, you know, I'm not allowed to get upset because I was told one thing, instructed to do, and then I'm turned away. That's not what you did for me, my girl, Misha. That response to oink oink says it all. I was planning I was planning on showing my girl's laying there, lifeless, in this report on you. But I can't bring myself to do it because I don't want to relive those moments any more than I already have going through my head right now. I took no pleasure in that. Especially with Hippie. She suffered more getting her prepared to say goodbye to. Because you... See, this is what happens when you put foreign students in a situation where that moment should be more precious, more final life, care. That should have been administered from the very beginning, from the point of putting the catheter in, administering the final dosages to put her to sleep. That should have been done by her doctor, her primary doctor. If not her primary doctor, another qualified doctor. That was supposed to be a special, precious moment that you are sending that poor animal to their final resting place in peace. Not in agony, to get there. Maybe you should change your policy too. Maybe end stage of life procedures should not be handled by students. That's more personal, very personal. It was personal for me. I expected my girl to be sent off humanely. But it didn't happen that way. Something's got to be done. I can see now how important it is for people like me to have an emotional support companion, because if you don't have a human being to be there that can support you emotionally, and most importantly emotionally, then you gotta suffice with something else. And my girls were that was my cup of tea. That was what was meant for me. See, God put us together because we shared one common thing. We just aren't complete up here. We were there for each other. We were there for each other. And I couldn't do nothing to help them at the very end, because you have staff that doesn't answer their phones. And when they do, they hang up on your clients. Yeah. But you'll see that for yourself too. I'm sure there's not going to be any form of reprimand on that either, because that was either Nydia. It sounded like Nydia. But it could have been Maria too, but it sounded more like Nydia. I believe Melina, because that's something that even her, even though I don't know her that well, I can sense that that would be no reason for her to lie. I can tell by the confidence in her voice. And believe me, I'm a good judge of character. Just like I knew you were dirty, and then I knew I'd find something dirty on you. And I did, right? Just like I told you I would. What kind of person are you? You read the negative reviews and it's all concerning the same issue. And this goes back, some of these reviews go back years and years, and still it continues. Do you have a blind eye to what's actually going on in your establishment? You don't listen to the complaints? Yay, great. You listen to the good ones. What about the bad ones? The bad ones that you can improve on. It will increase, the efficiency and the quality of your business. All I know is every moment I feel like every breath I take is my last. Because all I can think about is my girls. How I don't have them here no more. I knew they had to go. But I wanted them to go humanely. Not to be dumped off to the side because you want to accept what your staff tells you what the clients are doing. No, that's not what happened that Friday. So they're lying to you, but I don't care no more. You know, I don't care. We're not there no more. Neither one of them are here anymore, Dr. Spender. Yeah, so it took me a while to do this because I couldn't get past the crying, the torment,